A Cinema of Babel is a theory that, just like the story of the Tower of Babel, believes most films build on one another, drawing from a common wellspring of ideas. This applies to connections across directors' works and within a single director's filmography. The latter is the focus of this inaugural episode, focusing on the vocal repetitions found within the films of American director Brady Corbet. To date, Corbet has made 4 films, although at the time of this recording, his latest film, The Brutalist, has not yet released. The films we'll be talking about are Protect You Plus Me, The Childhood of a Leader, Vox Lux. By vocal repetitions, we are referring to when characters repeatedly utter a word or phrase in a frenzy or loop. This motif appears across Corbet's films but serves different purposes. Protect You Plus Me is Corbet's first short film. It is a tense and mysterious short. The protagonist is having dinner with his mother, observed by a man outside. Unable to endure it, the protagonist confronts the stranger, following him down the street while repeating a phrase.
Walk away from me! Don't 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 walk away from me!
This repetition serves as a release for the building tension in the short, but also as a way of showing that the protagonist wants control, to not only be heard, but to get what he wants, and this ends in inevitable violence. Because it is a short film, the impact of the film rests on this repetitive outburst. It is the crucial element of the narrative. The Childhood of a Leader is about a nuclear family living in the French countryside during the end of World War II. The father, an American, has relocated them here to help negotiate the Treaty of Versailles. The son is unruly, badly behaved and violent, and the film is almost a study in why that might be. Does it stem from his father, or his mother, or perhaps someone else, something else entirely? The vocal repetition here comes at the end of the film. With the Treaty of Versailles signed, the global tension now over, the family have a dinner party to celebrate. Ready to eat, the father asks the mother to say a prayer, but she then asks the son to say the prayer instead. The son gets up in his chair and screams,
"Take him upstairs."
I don't believe in praying anymore.
You stop!
I don't believe in praying anymore. I don't believe in praying anymore. I don't believe in praying anymore.
until the mother comes over to stop him and he hits her in the head with a stone, a reference to an incident at the start of the film. The repetition here, just like in Protect You Plus Me, is about the release of violence that has been pervading almost every single relationship between every character on screen. The question is, who is perpetuating it? Is it the war, the father, the mother, the maid, or the tutor? Is the boy violent by nature or a product of his surroundings? Either way, this outburst is the only way he knows of having some control over his life, being so young. Another example of violence as a means of control and gaining what one wants. Then we have Vox Lux, the outlier in many ways. Vox Lux begins with a school shooting. The only survivor, Celeste, becomes a pop star with the help of her sister. In some ways, she uses the tragedy as a means of getting what she wants. The difference is that Celeste herself has not committed anything violent. She is the receiver of violence, not the perpetrator. However, as she grows up, becoming more famous, her life becomes frantic and she essentially has no control over her life. Before a major comeback gig, a terrorist group shoot people on a beach, wearing masks made famous by one of her music videos. In Vox Lux, the hidden violence, while under the surface of relationships in the last two films, is both localised within Celeste forever, but also happening far away from her. She is eternally transformed from the violence perpetrated on her, but does everything she can to stop it pouring out. She does this through her music. The vocal repetition is much more subtle, easy to miss, because it has a different function. Just before Celeste is to go on stage with her dancers, this is what we see in here.
Are we gonna be amazing?
No!
Then what are we gonna be? Phenomenal. Come on, take it higher, and higher, and higher, and higher, and higher, and higher, and higher. Phenomenal! Great!
The repetition is not done by one person, but by a group. It's like a mantra to keep themselves focused, to do their best, to believe in themselves. In all three films, there is a hidden violence. It pervades everything, lying in wait. In Protect You Plus Me and The Childhood of a Leader, the violence comes out in these repetitions. But in Vox Lux, the repetitions are a way of staving off the violence, of being centered, calm, in the moment. The repetitions are an attempt to be at peace in the world and with yourself.